Hello students, whether the PPT is visible or not, please comment on the comment box. Good afternoon all. Today we will start the estimating and costing. As you all know, estimating and costing is the subject which is related with the field, directly related with the field, and it is very much important subject. So from today onwards we will start estimating and costing. So as you see, the university exams is having 80 marks questions, whereas the duration of estimating and costing is for 4 hours. There is an internal and external evaluation scheme for 50 and 50 marks. Normally the practical subjects is having 25 marks, but here estimating and costing is having 50 marks internal as well as 50 marks external. Therefore, overall there is 150 marks for estimating and costing. There is 80 marks for university exams, 20 marks for internal assessments, 20 marks for internal practicals, 20 marks for external university practicals, 50 marks. So overall there is 150 marks. So there is this subject is most important, related with university also, related with field also. So estimating and costing plays an important role. So from today onwards we will have the estimating and costing subject. So as today is the first lecture, so we will have some introduction regarding the estimating and costing. We will have some unit wise various units. There are 6 units in the estimating and costing. So we will have a review on what are the different units, what are the different things related with the units. So as today is the first lecture, we will have the introduction of estimating and costing. So this is nothing but a unit number 1, as you all see, unit number 1. So number 1 deals with the various aspects, importance and purpose of the subject. First, what is estimating and costing? The estimating and costing, there are 2 different fields. First is estimating and costing. So estimating and costing. So first we will have some important things related with estimating. So what is estimating and why it is to be used? So estimating is nothing but a determination of various materials, determination of various things related with the construction work prior to the executions. Before execution of any work, we have to find out the things, or we have to find out the various materials related with the construction work prior to the construction work. What will be the cost of the building, or what will be the cost of the structure, or what will be the cost of the project? So in order to find out the cost of the project, we have to find out the things related or materials related with the project. So for that, first we have to find out, in estimating and costing, we have to find out the quantities of various materials required in the construction of a project. The materials required. What will be the materials required in a construction project? Suppose there is a building, G+1 building or G+2 building. So from excavation up to floor finishes, or from excavation up to paintings or floor finishes or plastering or at the end of the work, which are the things or which are the materials required, which are the labors required, equipments required, various machineries, various advanced equipments required. So all the things or all the various aspects are covered in the estimating and costing. Starting from excavation up to the finishes, floor finishes or paintings or plastering or doors and windows fitting. So all the things we have to cover in estimating and costing. We have to first find out the quantities, and after finding out the quantities, we have to find out the market rate of the individual items. We have to find out the market rates. After finding out the market rates, we can implement or we can use that cost, and the cost of the construction work can be find out. Yeah. So there are two things in estimating and costing. There are two things. First, we have to find out the quantities, and next we have to interrelate that quantities with the market rates. We have to multiply that quantity with the market rates in order to find out the present cost of the construction work. So estimating plays an important role in order to find out the cost of the construction work prior to the executions. Prior to the executions, an idea can be find out how much cost is required to erect a building, to construct a building prior to its executions. So in unit number 1, we will study various importance and purpose of the subject, that is estimating and costing. Next, there are units of measurement as per IS 1200. So there are various measurements aspects related with IS 1200. So there is an Indian Standard Code 1200. So there are near about 20 codes in IS 1200, IS 12001, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, and up to 20. So IS 1200 plays an important role in estimating and costing. The IS code gives the clause in measurement of a particular item. How should be the measurement of excavation? So there is a separate part for part, IS 1200 part for excavation. Similarly, after excavation, suppose there is a construction of substructure. So what is IS code 1200 says about substructure? Which things to be added, which things to be subtracted, deductions to be there. So all these are covered in IS 1200. So IS 1200 plays an important role. So IS 1200 part 1 to part 20. So there are part 1 will have 8 to 10 pages. Part 2 will have 12 to 15 pages. So it is not as that one IS code is having 100 pages or 200 pages. So IS 1200 part 1 will have 15 pages, 10 pages, and which will cover excavation. And some IS 1200 will cover plastering, flooring, finishing, painting, windows, doors, windows, shuttering materials. So there are various IS codes. IS 1200 plays an important role. Next, third is in unit number 3 we will study items of work and description of item of works. The various items of works will be covered in this. This, as I have said, excavation is one item of work. Next, PCC is one item of work. DPC is another item, dam proof course, which is laid above the plinth level. So DPC is another. Next, lintel level, seal level. So these are the various item of works. Its description and how to find out its quantities. Next, administrative approval and technical sanctions. So this is again related with the government sectors. If we have to sanction the plan or if we have to approve the plan from the government bodies, then we have to have that estimation. Our estimating and costing plays an important role in approval of the drawings. Yeah. The administrative approval and technical sanctioning regarding with the government bodies we will see in unit number 1. Next, preliminary estimates, its objective and its methods. So preliminary, as its name says, preliminary estimate is nothing but estimation done before the execution or first stage estimations, prior estimations, preliminary estimation. So this preliminary estimation is nothing but an approximate estimation. So there are various methods in estimation, preliminary estimation. You will see one by one in unit number 1, preliminary estimations. Next is earthwork estimates in roads, hill roads and canals. So earthwork in backfill or in cutting and filling of roads, as you have studied in survey 1 or survey 2. So same way we have to find out the here in this estimating and costing we will find out the cost required for filling and cutting. How much is the quantity of filling to be carried out in roads or canals or highways, or what is the cutting, filling or cutting. We'll study in this earthwork estimate in roads, hill roads and canals. Next, again same way methods of consumption of earthworks. Next is important is unit number 2, whether the PPT is visible or not. Unit number 2, detailed estimate. Next is detailed estimate, objectives, importance, accuracy. Next is methods of detailed estimate. Next is detailed estimate of load bearing and frame structures. Here also in this method we will find out the various quantities in construction, as I have said, from excavation up to the floor finishes or plastering. So we will find out the detailed estimate of load bearing structures and frame structures. So both structures we will find out the cost. We will find out the cost of the structures. The next is detailed estimate of load bearing and frame structures. Calculation of reinforcing steel with bar bending schedule. Again, it is an important. Calculation of reinforcing steel with bar bending schedule is nothing but, again we are finding out the bar bending schedule, which is most important. That is also called as BBS, bar bending schedule. So it is implemented in field, as you have already seen, or in field there is a sheet in which the various bars bent ups are given. Suppose there is a beam bent up bars, or column straight bars, or slab bent up bars. So we have to find out the quantity of steel required in the slab or column or footing or plain beam or floor beams. So we are finding out the various quantity of steel. So in unit number 2, that is 4th point, that is calculation of reinforcing steel with bar bending schedule. So BBS plays an important role. BBS, bar bending schedule. So there is a table. Schedule is nothing but a table. The bar bending schedule is a table which represents various types of steel along with the diameter, along with the length, along with the weight of that bar, whether it is 6 mm, so how much will be the weight, whether it is 8 mm, how much will be the weight, how much number of bars will be required, whether it is a straight bar, whether it is a bent up bar. All this represents bar bending schedule. So every part is mentioned in this bar bending schedule related with the steel. So there is a table, or in the sense a table or a schedule which represents the reinforcement of the bars. So we'll study in unit number 2 the bar bending schedule. So it is also very important. The unit number 2 is most important. Unit number 1 is a little bit theoretical part. Theoretical in the sense it is a brief idea of estimating and costing, but unit number 2 plays an important role regarding the estimations, regarding finding out the quantities. So 3rd point, detailed estimate of load bearing and frame structures, it is also very important. 4th point, that is calculation of reinforcing steel with bar bending schedule in unit number 2 is plays an important. Unit number 2 is very important. So near about 13 to 14 marks or 15 marks questions are compulsorily asked in depending upon the load bearing structures or depending upon the frame structures, and also the bar bending schedules. So we have to find out the bars in beams, we have to find out the bars in column, or we have to find out the bars in slabs, foundations. Unit number two, it is very important. Next is unit number three. Unit number three relates with the tenders and contracts. As you all know, when we have to work with the government bodies, or even nowadays in private sectors also, this term tenders and contracts are commonly used. Government bodies also uses tenders in order to execute a work, in order to execute a work in a proper way, in order to maintain the quality of work, in order to maintain the various aspects related with the work. So tenders and contracts plays an important role. There is an agreement between the two bodies, being a owner or being a contractors, and the execution board. So there is a dealing between the two bodies. So tenders and contracts. In this we will study the various aspects related with the tenders, the various tender notice, acceptance of tenders related with the governments. So what should be the various procedures related with the tenders, which things will be covered in tenders and which things will be covered in contracts. Contract is nothing but a legal documents or a legal acceptance of work from one body to the another body. That is nothing but acceptance. Contract or tenders is nothing but acceptance. I am willing to do a work with some with some uh, what we can say with some criterias. Okay. So tenders and contracts are most important. Legal aspects of various contract provisions. Fourth point is legal aspects of various contract provisions and arbitrations. So arbitration is also important. Arbitrations. So when there is arbitrations, or when there is arbitration, is nothing but a dispute between the two bodies. So when there is a dispute between the two bodies, then this tenders and contracts plays an important role, because according to the written things, we can have a judgment, or we can have a work to be done. Okay. The arbitration, in arbitration you will see a detailed way what is arbitrations, what is an arbitrator, what is the role of arbitrator, what is the capabilities of arbitrators. The arbitrator is a field which is related with the tenders and contracts. In tenders and contracts we will see arbitrators. Arbitration is nowadays most important, and tenders and contracts, in tenders and contracts arbitrations plays an important role. Next is unit number 4. So unit number 4 is nothing but specifications. Again we have seen IS 1200 introduction. So IS 1200, there are various parts. Again there is a part related with specifications. Specification is a specific description of a particular item of work. What is specification? Specification is nothing but the specific description. Suppose there is a PCC. So only this PCC doesn't relate the work. Only this short form or this word doesn't relate the word. So in PCC, what will be the quantity of cement? What will be the quantity of sand? What will be the quantity of aggregates? Or what will be the quality of materials required? And what should be the specification of that materials? What should be the specifications? From where the fine aggregates will be there, or aggregates quality what should be the quality of aggregates will be there, fine aggregates, coarse aggregates, cement. Suppose we are using cement, so what should be the specification of cement? Which grade of cement will be used? Which grade of steel will be used? What will be the thickness, or what will be the sieve analysis of fine aggregates or coarse aggregates? So all this will be covered in specification. The descriptive part will be covered in this specification. Again, this specification plays an important role as a government documentary work. In government documents, there is specifications given for a particular type of work. Specification. Suppose we are executing a PCC work or excavation. So there is a provision in government So according to that specifications, we have to do excavations. We have to erect a column. We have to erect a beam, or we have to cast a slab. So there are various specifications given in givens in the government norms. We will see various types of specifications. What is the need of specifications? Why specifications are required? What is the purpose of specifications? And principles of specifications. And is important is how to write specifications. Specification, principles of specifications writing. How to write the specification. Next important is types of specifications, writing and developing detailed specifications. Specification is normally one is a brief specification, other is the detailed specification. So detail is every part is covered in these detailed specifications. While minor part, even what will be the period of curing. Suppose there is casting of column or casting of beam or casting of slab. So how much days the curing will be there? So curing part will be covered. How much days curing is required? Every part is covered in this specification. So specification, this unit number 4, it is little bit a theoretical unit in which we have to descriptive. We have to write down the in a descriptive form the various types or various items in the construction works. So types of specifications, writing and developing detailed specification of important items of building and road works. So here we will study building work as well as the specification of road work. Next is the in same unit there is a cost accounting. So we have to find out the cost classification. Various methods are there in order to find out the cost. Classification of cost, direct and indirect charges, various related with the field, distribution of overhead charges. Overhead charges are also there. M.Azaz, material at site account. There is a book, material at site account, M.Azaz, material at site account, in which there is a register in which all the things are mentioned. How much quantity of steel in government sectors? This M.Azaz account is usually implemented, in which how much steel is issued and how much steel is used, how much steel is wasted. And every day record is mentioned. How much labors are used in particular type of work, how much labors will be required, or how much materials is required, how much mixer machine is required or equipments are required. So if we are taking a materials from the government bodies, or we are taking a materials and we are only executing the work and the materials are provided by the government bodies. So the government bodies, they maintain the record in M.Azaz account, material at site account. Every material issue, there is a register that is M.Azaz account in which everything is mentioned. The M.Azaz account, and lastly it is issue rates and store account. That is same as M.Azaz account in which every record is there. How much quantity of steel or how much bags of cement today in today's date, how much bag of cement has been taken from the godown or from the stock. It is maintained in M.Azaz account, and at the end of the day, how much is returned or how much has been consumed. All this it has been mentioned in M.Azaz accounts. Unit number 3, it is having specification as well as cost accounting, both estimation, specification, and cost accounting. Next is unit number 5. That is again most important, rate analysis. So in unit number 2, the things we are the quantity of materials we have already calculated by detailed estimate. Unit number 2, so that quantities we have to find out or we have to multiply it with the rates, market rates. So in unit number 5, we will find out the actual cost of a particular item of work. So rate analysis. Rate analysis deals with the finding out the actual cost of the particular item of work. So first we will have the introduction, purpose, principles of CSR. City survey rates, factors affecting analysis of rates. Suppose we are having a construction work at the rural areas. So what will be the rates? What will be the rates of the laborers in rural areas? What will be the rates of transportation? What will be the rates of the various materials available, cement, sand, or aggregates? So all this will be covered in this. The next is labor guidelines from national building organizations. Again, there is a guidelines in which again the guidelines is regarding the rate analysis. Guidelines regarding the rates. There is district schedule of rates and city schedule of rates. CSR is nothing but city schedule of rates. So city schedule of rates, again there is a booklet available in the government sectors in which there are different rates mentioned. What is the rate of a particular type of work? If we are having or if we have to do a work in a government sectors, so we have to quote the rates. So what will be the rates or how to quote the rates that are given in the CSR? Market rates of materials and labors, again rates of the materials and labors. What is the cost or present cost of the fine aggregates? Now present cost of fine aggregate, as you all know, one truck cost of fine aggregates is near about 30,000 or 28 to 30,000. Same way the cement cost, same way the labor cost. Now labors are very is not available. Therefore, the cost of labors are also more. So market rates of various materials, cement cost, sand cost, or aggregates, or labor cost, or equipment cost. So various market rates of the materials and labors. Next is rate analysis of major items of works. Again, major item of works, we will study a rate analysis. Again, unit number 5 is in this unit we have to find out the various rates of the various items of works. Last unit is nothing but the valuations. Again, valuation plays an important role. Valuation is nothing but to find out the value or to find out the cost of a building. In various aspects, we have to find out the cost of the building. For various purposes, we have to find out the cost of building. So here, valuation plays an important role in order to find out the cost of the building. Valuation plays an important role. So first, we will see in unit number 6, that is the purpose of valuation. Next is factors affecting property price and cost. There are the different factors which affect the valuations of the price and cost, whether that property, whether that land, or whether that the constructed area is urban area, whether it is constructed in urban area, whether it is constructed in rural area, whether it is connected to the city, whether it is connected to the roads, whether there is connected to a highway. So all this will be covered in the valuations. Valuation. Factors affecting valuation, that is we have to find out the cost related with the various aspects. So factors affecting property price and cost, types of value, market value, various values, scrap value, salvage value. The various values will be covered in this valuation. Types of value, freehold and leasehold properties, freehold property and leasehold properties. There are few properties which are given on lease, for 50 years, for 25 years, for 100 years. So we have to find out its valuations, freehold property and leasehold property, the property which is given in lease. So for that properties, we have to find out the value, market value or market price of that property. In this unit number 6, that is 4th point, where we will study the freehold and leaseholds. And again, there is the sinking fund. Sinking fund is nothing but a amount which is kept aside for future construction work or future maintenance work. Sinking fund. The sinking fund also plays an important role. An amount which is kept aside for repair works. After 25 years, after 30 years, there may be repair of plasters, there may be repair of floorings, or there may be repair of paintings. So there is an amount which is kept every year. There is nothing but a sinking fund. So depreciation, again, there is decrease in the cost of construction. So again, depending upon the decrease in the cost of construction, what is the valuation? After 10 years, what will be the value of a building? After 15 years, what is the value of the building? After 20 years, what is the value of the building? There is different methods to find out the depreciation in the buildings or the decrease due to wear and tear in the buildings, wear and tear. So depreciation plays an important role. Again, the methods and again the various problems will be there in depreciation. Capitalized value, actual value is nothing but the capital value, capitalized value, methods of valuation, net and gross income, and rent fixation. If we have to give a building in rent, So what are the different criteria covered in fixing a rent? So rent fixation also plays an important role here if you have to give a go down or factories or a residential area or anything. So what are the different aspects covered in fixing a rent? That is the rent fixations. So these all are the 6 units covered in the estimating and costings. Next, there are again 8 major practicals. There are a list of 13 practicals in which we will carry out the 8 practicals. Practicals actually estimating and costing is not as a field practicals. We have to go in field or measure the building or dimensions or measure any. It is same as the theoretical. Practical is nothing but the theoretical, which we will study in the class or which we will study in the theory. The same to be implemented in a record book. So there are 8 practicals. These practicals, it is not to be performed in the field. It is actually the same as the theoretical, but we have to maintain the file for this practicals. So there are 8 practicals here. First is preliminary estimate as unit number 1. We have seen preliminary or approximate estimate. So using plinth area method, detailed estimate. In unit number 2, we have seen detailed estimate in load bearing and frame structures. That is serial number 3 detailed study. Estimate of a frame structure. We will take a building, G+1, G+2 building or ground floor building. We will find out the complete cost of the building in practicals. So load bearing structure, frame structures, calculation of steel in columns, beams, slab, foundation, footings. Serial number 5 is estimate of earthworks, 1 kilometer or length. We are finding out the filling and cutting materials. What is the cost of filling and cutting materials? How much filling and cutting materials are there? Next is nothing but the draft detailed specification, as we have seen specification in specification. So there are 8 major items to be covered in this practical. You will see 8 major items of specifications. Net rate analysis, 8 major items of rate analysis. Tenders notice, how to draft a tender notice. You have seen in the newspapers. Uh, in newspapers there are tender notice. The same tender notice to be drafted. So practical number 8 is nothing but a short tender notice. Annual and total depreciations, as we have seen, depreciation valuation in valuation. So we have to find out the depreciation cost of various construction works. Fixation of rent again is important. Practical number 10 is nothing but the fixation of rent. Next 11th is survey. We have to find out the market rates of labors, market rates of materials, and 13 is detailed planning and estimation of plumbing works, and last is 13 is detailed estimate of building using estimated. So next we will have 8 practicals out of these 13 practicals. These are the reference books. Estimating and costing by Datta, estimating and costing by Chakraborty, valuation by Roshan, and philosophy of valuations. So starting to estimating and costing by Datta and estimating and costing by Chakraborty is most important. The problems or the theory parts are covered in these 2 books. So these 2 books are most important. So in this way, in next lecture we will try to start unit number 1. That is nothing but the preliminary estimate and various definitions related with the estimating and costing. Preliminary estimate, plinth area methods, or various methods related with the estimating and costing. So here we will end the today's first lecture. From next onwards, we will start estimating and costing. In WhatsApp group, the timings will be shared. How much, at what time the class will be started. The next lecture we will have soon in estimating and costing unit number 1. Thank you. Any comments you can give in chat box.